The music stopped. Glasses froze mid-air. Every rough face in the dimly lit biker bar turned toward the door. A woman, drenched in rain, clutching her swollen belly, stumbled inside, her eyes wide with fear and desperation. No one spoke. The woman's lips trembled as she whispered, "Please, someone help me. They're after me." And that's when the leader of the biker gang, a man known only as Ryder, stood up. No one could have imagined what would happen next. It was a stormy night on the outskirts of a small desert town. Thunder rolled like the growl of a restless beast. Inside the Iron Wings bar, a group of bikers sat laughing, their tattoos and leather vests glistening under the neon lights. The air was thick with smoke, rock music, and the scent of spilled whiskey. Then the door burst open. A young woman stood there, soaked to the bone. Her face was pale, her clothes clung to her body, and her hands were trembling as she held her pregnant belly. The room went silent. Ryder, the biker leader, set his drink down slowly. He was a tall man with rough hands and eyes that had seen too much of the world. "You lost, sweetheart?" he asked, his voice calm but commanding. She shook her head. "Please, I need help. Someone's following me." The bikers exchanged glances. Half suspicion, half curiosity. People didn't just walk into the Iron Wings asking for help, especially not someone like her. Fragile, innocent, and terrified. Ryder motioned her closer. "Sit down. Tell me what's going on." She hesitated, then slowly walked to the corner booth. Her name was Anna, and her story came out in broken whispers. She had been running from her abusive ex, a man who'd sworn he'd kill her before letting her raise their baby alone. She'd escaped that night, driving until her car broke down miles back. The rain forced her to seek shelter, and the glow of the biker bar's sign was the only light she'd seen for miles. As she spoke, tears streamed down her face. The bikers, men who looked like trouble themselves, sat frozen. Even the toughest among them clenched their fists in anger. Ryder's jaw tightened. He'd been a man like that once, reckless, violent, and lost. But something about Anna's fear stirred something inside him that he hadn't felt in years, the urge to protect. Then the sound of engines echoed outside. 3 black trucks pulled into the parking lot, their headlights cutting through the rain like knives. Anna's heart sank. "It's him," she whispered. Ryder stood up, his voice low but firm. "Boys, we've got company." As the men outside started shouting and banging on the door, the bikers closed ranks around Anna. The fear in her eyes met the fire in Ryder's. He cracked his knuckles and muttered, "No one touches her. Not tonight." The night turned into chaos. But it was also the moment everything changed. The doors burst open as Anna's ex stormed in, a brute with rage burning in his eyes, followed by his gang. "Where is she?" he roared. Ryder stepped forward, blocking his view. "She's under my roof now. You want her, you'll have to go through me." The ex laughed cruelly. "You think you can stop me? She's mine." But before he could take another step, Ryder's brothers, men with names like Snake, Tank, and Diesel, surrounded him. The air pulsed with tension. Then fists flew, tables shattered, and the roar of battle filled the bar. It wasn't long before Ryder had the man pinned to the floor. His knuckles bled, but his voice was steady. "You don't own her. You never did." The sheriff arrived minutes later, alerted by a call from one of the bikers' wives. The abuser was hauled away, screaming threats. When the sirens faded into the distance, the bar fell silent again. Anna sat trembling in a corner. "Thank you," she whispered, tears glistening in her eyes. "You saved my life." Ryder wiped the blood from his brow and managed a faint smile. "Nah," he said softly. "You saved mine." Over the following weeks, Anna stayed at the biker clubhouse. The men, who once lived only for speed and rebellion, began to change. They fixed her car. They built a small nursery in the back room. They watched over her like family. And when the baby finally came, in that same bar that had once been filled with chaos and anger, the cries of new life echoed through the walls. Ryder held the newborn in his arms, tears in his eyes. "Welcome to the family, little one," he said softly. That night, under the neon lights, the bikers toasted not to beer or battles, but to redemption, to family, to the woman who walked into their lives and reminded them what it meant to care again. Sometimes, help comes from the most unexpected places. a group of rough bikers, feared by many, became protectors of a mother and her child. Because compassion doesn't wear a suit, sometimes it wears leather and rides a Harley. Never judge a soul by its scars. Even the toughest hearts can carry the purest kindness.